Hey now, all ceramics people. I'm talking to everybody here, but I'll single you out when it applies. Now, I've got one new video today. This one that I'm recording right now will be a little long, and I'm going to show you a couple of pots, so that'll be enough for our 20 to 30 minutes of work time today. First of all, I was going to show you some pottery, and I'll get to that. But let's talk about this, video responses. I'm still getting responses to videos that do not get any points. They count as contact. And this information comes from me from the dean's office. If you say something short to me, then I mark that down, and you're not marked absent on Friday when I have to do attendance. But if you want the points, then you've got to say more. Like, for instance, for contact, I'm getting comments like, wow, that guy made the pot fast, or I wish I had that pot for my cat because it flips over the bowl, or that was cool. These aren't enough to get any points. I'm hearing you, and I like hearing from you like that. That's cool. But to get points, I need you to make some commentary. And for instance, here's one. I decided to record this video now because I was looking at this email from a student who responded to Monday's 2 videos about how to make lidded pots. And this is more than enough for the 10 points. I'm going to read it to you now. In the one-piece lidded jar video, I noticed that he threw the clay down and didn't realize you could actually throw it on, not just slap it on. I was a little confused when he said he wanted the sides straight, but to have them come in some. I guess he meant not to curve them, question mark. It's still so cool to watch people close off pots. They just mold together and leave you with a little nub to take off. It makes a lot more sense to cut off the top of a closed pot for a lid than make a separate one like I initially thought he was going to do. I like how different yet similar, this is about the second video, the second lidded pot is compared to the first one. He made it surprisingly fast. This guy made the lid the initial way I had thought about it, but I think the first guy's way is cleaner and more foolproof. The lid will always be the exact size to fit on. Hey, more than enough information there. So that's what I want, and let's say a minimum of 3 sentences, and they need to be, relevant and making sense, not just, I thought that was cool. He did that fast. You know what I'm saying? I hope you understand that. I thought I explained it before, but I'm still getting these short responses. So if you don't get the 10 points, then you didn't say enough. You can still re-comment to any of the videos that I've sent out and get those 10 points. That brings your grade up. And for those of you that don't have a great grade right now, it's because you didn't have enough stuff done at school before we left, especially the Ceramics 2 people. I had a number of people with not enough stuff on their grade sheet. And I already explained to them, I cut the grade sheet in half, and actually less than half, and just put the points on Synergy. You can still build your grade up. Let's comment on videos and or make stuff. Before I get to the pottery, speaking of making stuff, you might not have clay. But do they have clay on Amazon? I mean, as I said in the last video, I don't think I'm going to be able to give you clay, and that's a shame. Can you buy some on Amazon, or can you get some Play-Doh from Target or Walmart? Anything would work if you want to make stuff out of clay. You know the techniques, all of you. So the only thing I didn't show you was sculpting, but I've shown you videos about that. Okay. By the way, in the videos, they frequently refer to the metal scraper tool, the ones shaped like this, as a rib, and other tools referred to as a rib. Why are they called rib? Well, I think it's short for ribbon tool. I don't think they actually ever used human ribs, bones, to make pottery, although that's a possibility, I guess. I think it's short for ribbon tool because the metal is so thin it's a ribbon. I don't use that term, by the way, but people do in pottery. I use metal scraper, and scraper is technically a ribbon tool. In the video I'm going to show you today, the guy is showing you how to make taller stuff on the wheel, and he works almost identical to the way I work, which is pretty interesting since I'm self-taught in an age before we had YouTube. Wearing the Falcon shirt there. I'm leaning forward so you don't get that glare behind me. So I taught myself, and this guy works almost identical to the way I do. So it's pretty cool, or did, when I was making taller things. So it was fun for me to watch, even though, it's somewhat like watching myself. Anyway, so watch that video and give me some commentary on what he does. I don't want to talk about it too much. You guys in Ceramics 1, we're shortchanged wheel time. I think that's a shame. So for everybody, Ceramics 2, Ceramics 1, if you're coming back, i.e. not a senior, take Ceramics, again, take Ceramics 2 or take Ceramics Studio and put in some more time. It's a fun class. It's a shame we couldn't finish it. Okay. Now, when you send me projects you're working on, make it clear whether you want me to critique it. That means tell you, hey, that eye looks off and you need to change that, or you need more in the forehead or whatever. Or if you want me to grade it, say, this is ready to grade. If it is, it's sculpture. If it's a sculpture, let me know whether you've hollowed it or not, since hollowing is part of the grade, because it's effort, right? All right, I talked about how to get clay. Studio, I talked about the grade sheet. Okay, I think all I've got left is to show you some pottery I've got here. Now, I was having some insulation put in my attic recently, and I brought these boxes down that have been sitting up there for like 25 years, and they belong to my parents. I've got like 2 boxes full of this stuff, and it's called china, fine china. And fine china has a maker's mark on the bottom to tell you when and who it was made by. And if you've watched Antiques Roadshow, you know about this stuff. Now, this stuff was bought by my dad when he was in the army. He was in Germany in the 50s, post-war Germany, when it was divided between the Soviet Union and the United States. Hey, you know who was in the army with my dad? Elvis Presley. You know who that is? That was pretty cool. Anyway, this stuff is made out of porcelain, and it's called china because when porcelain first came to Europe, it came from China. You got it. And we learned that in the presentation I show at the start of Ceramics 1, early in Ceramics 1. You can see this stuff is thin. It's finely detailed and glazed, and it's worth some money. It's worth, and the both boxes might be, I don't think it's going to be more than $1,000, and honestly, I don't have any use for it, so I think I'm just going to sell it. Both parents are gone, so it's not like it's doing anything for me. Here's another one I made. I just cleaned this recently because I was cleaning house. Have you been doing that when you're stuck at home? I've been cleaning a lot. Anyway, this used to be the Halloween candy dish, and it's set on my cupboard with candy and like health bars and stuff. But the kids are gone, and I don't eat candy really. So I washed it out, and I was just going to take it to school as an example. Big bowl. And I used it as a Halloween candy dish. But over the last few years, I've cultivated the persona of the cranky old man in the neighborhood. So now almost nobody comes to my house to trick or treat. Isn't that great? Okay. All right, watch today's video. Thanks for listening for so long. Hope you guys are all doing well.